This is a very special episode. Today, I become a top 1% podcaster.
Okay, let's go.
Right? To become a top 1% podcaster, all you need to do is hit 21 podcasts.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you have done to turn pro?
First thing I do to turn pro was quit my job. I went all in on coaching, mentorship, programs, and I just took it more and more serious. It's very expensive to be poor. You can't be poor because it's costing you too much. The number one thing that's stopping you from making more money, from getting more people to know who you are, is actually going on podcasts. A lot of the turns with money come from like the ocean, like liquidity, currency, cash flow. It's all like maritime law or water law. What y'all need to understand is it's not hard to be a 6-figure podcast, but you need to go pro. You need to take it seriously. This is a real moment.
Welcome to the A-Lister Show. The A-Lister Show, we bring on movers and shakers, people that are doing interesting things. My name is Alistair, and I am your host. Today, we have an amazing guest, one of the best in the game when it comes to podcasting. And this guy is on fire right now. He's like a rocket ship taking off, and I'm so happy to have him on my show. We're going to dive deep into podcasting, why it's special, why you should maybe consider starting one, how to monetize it. And we're going to pull all these gems out of this guy for the 50 minutes that I have him here today. So without further ado, Brendan Boyd. How you doing today?
What's up, man?
Hey, good to see you.
Great to see you, man. Appreciate you having me. It was honestly an awesome drive because I live in LA, so coming down to SD. But then in the morning I probably left like right at 7. Mm-hmm. So like the drive was smooth. Good. And I pulled out, get to see the ocean. It was vibes, bro.
Yes.
It was vibes for sure.
Yes, the California vibes.
100%.
And you're about to hit Miami pretty soon.
Yeah. Miami this summer. I've been spending a lot of time there.
Yeah.
Every time I go there, between Miami and Atlanta, I get so much work done. So it just makes sense. And then that flight from the East Coast to the West Coast, after a while, it ends up being a lot. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's way more energy on the East Coast right now, at least for what I got going on.
Yeah. Now I want to get into that. But before we do, tell the people who you are and why they should listen to you. What have you done?
Well, before we do that, man, I mean, you told me that you stole my my podcast title, bro. The name of my show. This dude stealing the name of my show.
It's funny. When I was thinking about starting a podcast, I'm like, damn, what can this podcast be named? And I'm like, The Pursuit. It's like the journey, the chase, the hunt, the pursuit of happiness.
100%, yeah.
And I went there and I was like, okay, who has this name? Nobody has this name. Pursuit. Damn, this guy's cooking already. And I'm like, okay, I can't use The Pursuit. And so that's when I was like, damn, I don't know if I can have a show without a dope name. And then it just hit me, the A-Lister Show.
Yeah, and I think what's dope about that is like it's your name, bro. So it's like A-list. Yep. People want to be A-list. They want status, right? Exactly. They want to be celebritized. They want to be, around people that are making things happen. They want to be people that are making things happen. So everybody looks at themselves or want to look at themselves as A-list. So I think it's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about yourself. What do you do?
So first of all, who I am, I'm a business person essentially, right? I'm a business person. I just happen to have built a business in the podcast space. Prior to that, I was in fashion for 10 years, and I was in real estate as an agent for like 8. So I've always had like this marketing mind, a way to like look at different concepts, different strategies. And right before I moved to LA, I was podcasting. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it wasn't a podcast. At that point, I wanted to sit down with interesting people, but I wanted to bring some reciprocity because it's like that whole, let me take you to lunch. Let me pick your brain. That ain't it.
Yep.
Matter of fact, it's almost a turnoff at this point because time's the most valuable asset. It's the most valuable thing that we all have. So you want to steal my time for a sandwich? That ain't it. And then you want me to drop hundreds of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of value on you for you not to even do nothing with it because you got it for free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you end up losing. You know what I mean? I end up losing in that case. So I wouldn't do it like that. You know what I mean? So basically what I've been able to do is combine like online, digital space, digital products and services with the power of media, new media, which is podcasting. And, what I do is I show people, right, how to monetize their podcast without brand deals, sponsorships, or having a large audience, by using what I call the foundational 4. And then that way they can make money as soon as like episode 1 or episode 2, right? But I also specialize in helping entrepreneurs and business owners get more exposure by leveraging podcasts so they can be more findable, more searchable, and be a category king or queen.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I was so excited to speak with you is because podcasting has changed my life.
Yeah.
It really has, in a lot of different ways. And I started my podcast for selfish reasons. It's very, very similar to you. I wanted a direct line to people, right? I wanted to get into a particular business, and I wanted to ask that person all these questions. And like you said, buying them a sandwich ain't it.
Yeah, ain't nobody want a sandwich, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody want a sandwich.
You know, or a cup of coffee. It's like, no, this is reciprocity. You come on, you talk to me, we're going to have an exchange. You're going to get some nice content out of it. You're going to get some publicity out of it. You're going to get to promote your offer. And I'm going to get, you're in my network now. I got you on my phone now. If I have a question, if I want to collaborate, we can link. And I get to pull out all the information that I want.
Yo, it's essentially a cheat code. And I got to correct you if you don't mind.
Please.
That's not selfish. That's smart. It's strategy, right? The number one thing that can help people get ahead in our country or just in the world in general is using leverage, right? Other people's money or other people's knowledge, and then association. If you can put those things together, you can go as far as you want, right? Because like at the end of the day, and I share this all the time, if you can sell one thing, you don't really have to tweak your thing. More people with that same problem that you solved just need to find out who you are. And what happens is most people spend more time on how to perfect this cup, right? They spend so much time to try to perfect this cup, and no one buys the cup because no one even knows that they sell the cup, right? But if the cup holds water and I can drink from it, then find more people like me because I just bought it, and you'll do more sales. You know, so podcasting is a cheat code for relationship building. And it's also a cheat code for you wanting to get your word out there. And it's also a cheat code for lazy people that do not like making content. This is the best way to have all your content made for you. And all you got to do is edit it. You can use, we have a service called Podchop. You can use Podchop, podchop.io. Or you can use all these different AIs, or edit them yourself. So at least you have content. Because I'm a little tired of people talking about, I don't know what content to make. I'm lazy, can't post. How many times should I post? How many times do you want people to know who you are? If you want people to know who you are every day, post every day. If you want people to know who you are 10 times a day, post 10 times a day on all your platforms. That should be your answer. It shouldn't be, well, I don't know, man. I posted 4 or 5 times today. I think it's a lot. It's not a lot because no one knows who you are. The algorithm's not even favoring you if you don't spend money with Facebook, right? So that means your content is already like, only a small percentage of people are seeing it, right? It's already targeted. There's only a small percentage of people are seeing it if you're doing it for free. So why would you not scream it to the rooftops and tell everybody what you do so you could do more sales?
Absolutely.
And that's what you need to do. So I would leverage that as much as possible. Podcasting, like you said, it changed your life. It changed my life too. I mean, it enables me to be anywhere, bro. I just spent a month outside of California. I spent, between Puerto Rico, Miami, and Atlanta. And now I'm about to go to Tulum. Podcasting has allowed me to do that. But it's because I've been able to productize it and then install the foundation for it, which we'll talk about, and then build on top of that.
By the way, I almost forgot to mention, this is a very special episode. You don't know about this, but today I become a top 1% podcaster. This is my 21st episode.
Tell me about it. Okay, let's go.
Right?
Let's go. Yeah,
21st episode. So we know that 90% of podcasters quit after 10 episodes.
Yeah, listen, y'all need to stop quitting. Y'all need to commit to something. If you're gonna commit to anything in your life, this would be it. This is the thing. Now, it's not gonna move as fast as you want. It's gonna move as fast as you commit. I would say. And there's things that you could do to speed up the process. But if you're gonna commit to anything in your life, commit to the podcast. So congratulations.
Thank you. So the bar to excellence is set so low. You have people that quit after 3 episodes. And to become a top 10% podcaster, all you got to do is like 10 episodes. To become a top 1% to become a top 1% podcaster, all you need to do is hit 21 podcasts. And I'm officially a top 1% podcaster because all I did was show up, bro.
That's all you
did. Show up. Right?
Facts.
And at first it's kind of intimidating. It's like nobody wants to be. Who am I? I don't have a big following. I don't have 100,000 followers on YouTube.
Yeah, but you got the A-list podcast.
I have the A-list podcast,
Yeah.
you know? And it's, you know, and I was surprised at how open people are to coming on my show.
100%. Bro, I'm going to tell you like this. You might have experienced this. I've only gotten one no in like 5 years.
Wow.
And the only reason why I got the no was only because of like schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can get whoever you want on the podcast. Now, look, this is the thing. Not everyone's going to want to come on for free, but you can still get almost anyone that you want.
That's true.
Right? It may take time. It may take money. You might need to build up your credibility as a show. I remember one of my mentors, Myron Golden, shared that like he would go on anyone's show as long as they have 50 episodes because that would stamp you as like your real show. I don't want to do a show with someone that has under 50 episodes because, like you said, they're going to be part of that 99%. The joint either not going to come out or the podcast going to die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you would be surprised how many 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-figure earners would be happy to sit down with you and share what they accomplished, share what they got going on, tips and tricks by just turning on the camera or just using your phone.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm building my confidence as I go. Like there are some people that I think will say no, and so I won't hit them up. But I'm trying to like change that in myself. And first of all,
that's a limiting belief.
It's an absolutely a limiting belief. And what I'm learning is they may not say yes the first time, but they accept my DM request. And now when I hit them again, it's not going to show in the request. It's going to show in the main message folder, right? So now I got a direct line to this person. They say, oh, timing's not right, or I'd be interested someday. But now I got a line of communication with this person.
You want to speed up your potential to get that person on the show? If you're not already doing this, I would do these two things. One, I would make a podcast EPK.
What's that?
So like a one sheet showing the highlights, you know, like your brand name, a podcast name, like a bio, mission statement, a couple of clips from the show, make a trailer with a mix of guests that you have. Make sure it's like, it looks dope. You know what I'm saying? You can get that on Fiverr or maybe your editor can put something together that's fire and then show them that because that presentation is way better than just coming on on the podcast. Yeah. If you send somebody like that, it's kind of like, you know how you're in the airport and then everyone's getting off the plane and then you go to pick up your luggage and there's always people that got that's someone's name and they're holding it up on a sign and then he's like, oh yeah, I'm Brendan, and then you go outside, there's a black car. That's a way different experience. And what if you didn't expect it? Like you was coming to LA, right? I flew you out, and then you got your luggage and then someone's like, with your name on there.
Yeah. Big amazing experience.
Exactly. You're not going to say no to that. So it's like the same thing. So if you invite somebody on with that packaging, that presentation, you're more likely than not going to get a yes out of them, or at least get a schedule. Potentially get a schedule.
Yeah. So, and you gotta shoot your shot when it comes to podcasting. Yeah. I hit up Alex Hormozy, Mr. Hormozy. One day I'm gonna get your ass on my show, and we're gonna have an amazing freaking episode, and I can't wait. So mark my words, it may be a couple years, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month.
Just get him this year, bro.
I'm gonna get him.
So find out. All you gotta do is this: find out where he's gonna be.
Yeah.
Bring your mobile equipment. Right. If he's speaking at an event, buy the most expensive ticket so you get access. Yeah. If he has his own event, go to that joint. Yeah. Find out where he's gonna be. Get in the room. Ingratiate yourself with them. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, hey, look, you're one of the people that inspire me. You're one of the people that allow me to keep doing what I'm doing. I feel like this is an amazing opportunity I have just to meet you. I just want to say I'm grateful. I appreciate it. And by the way, man, I got a show out of San Diego. You got 10 minutes to just kind of like, I got a couple questions I would love to ask you. Yeah. He going to say, yeah, bro. Yeah. He going to say, Alex Hormozy's a real dude. Yeah. He's not like one of those guys that are like, they got like their neck up high, their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? He ain't that type. He's real, bro. Yeah. He got no strip. You know what I'm saying? He got the tank top, some shorts. You know what I'm saying? He's chilling, bro. He ain't that type of guy. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that doing something like that is going to increase your chances of getting more. And
a lot of times you hit up somebody and they will hit you back. Yeah, I'd love to come on. Here's my fee. Yeah. Right. And that's cool. Maybe $5,000, maybe $10,000, maybe $20,000. Yeah. A lot of times that's cheaper than like paying for a one-on-one consultation with that person.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the thing. I recently paid somebody to come on my podcast, right? And this is why this is one of the reasons why podcasters don't make money, right? Is because they don't productize. So they don't have products and services. So if you don't have products and services, or you don't productize your podcast, you invest in that 10K, you're gonna feel like that is an expense. Mm-hmm. Where like when I invested that 10K, in less than a week we made 30 back, and we're still making money from that. Yes. Because we have offers. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you might do something on the front end. Like I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. And they said that they were looking to land this big client. And I guess the client value was like a little over $1 million. It might have been like 1.3 or something. So they had invited the client to dinner, right? And then they prepaid for the bill, but they didn't know what the bill was going to be. Mm-hmm. So the bill came up to like $1,000. So they was a little tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't expect it was going to be $1,000. But you got to look at it. They planted a seed on the front end. You know what I'm saying? For it to harvest on the back end. And I think that's what people are missing. Everyone's so scared to spend money. But the money's not real. You know what I'm saying? You're so afraid to spend fake money to get a real experience or a real moment or create, a cash flowing asset that you miss out on your blessings, you miss out on your opportunities because you're afraid to invest because you think it's an expense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it's actually, it's a spiritual seed. Because money's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Like the higher you go, right? The more you put out, the more maturation you're doing, it's gonna come right back. And you just have that air of confidence. Like, yeah, I'm gonna spend, I'm gonna invest this 10K, I'm gonna make the money back because I have ways to bring the money in. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the reason people are blocking their one of my men, he doesn't know he's my mentor now. I'll just start getting into him, right? His name is Derek Whitehead. Mm-hmm. So he talks about Shelf Corps and how instead of starting a business and getting the money, you should start a business to acquire the money so you can do business, right? And that was like a mind blow for me because I thought back to all the businesses I started, and everyone does this. You may have done it where you just start a business. You like, I'm selling waters now. So we're talking about waters. I'm selling waters now. Yeah. But it's like, the business is not set up right. It's not structured right. You don't even got the proper things, but you're already selling something. And now you're chasing the dollar. When if you set up the business proper the first time, the banks would just give you money. And then you straight, But I say that to say, one of the reasons that this is such an issue for podcasters is when you think about investing, or you just think about money in general, right? A lot of the terms with money, come from like the ocean, liquidity, currency, you know what I'm saying? Cash flow, you know what I'm saying? Wow. It's all like maritime law or water laws, you know what I'm saying? So like the concept of money doesn't exist on our land, you know what I'm saying? It exists out there. So basically what I'm saying is, money operates on a whole different set of rules, right? So what's all around us? Money. All this is money. We're sitting on money. There's money underneath our feet. We're dripped in money. So that means there's money all around us, right? Is there any shortage of air?
No.
Are you stealing the oxygen from me?
No.
Am I stealing the oxygen from him?
No, there's enough for all.
Is he stealing the oxygen from us?
Nope.
There's enough. But we've been programmed to believe it's scarce when it's in abundance, right? So everyone is walking around with like mental blocks or dead ends, so the money can't even flow to you, right? Think about this. If you have something that somebody can buy, right? And let's say you got your phone and somebody bought it right now. You didn't do nothing, but you just got a sale, right? So you allowed the money flow to you because you had a way that somebody could give you some money. Mm-hmm. So no one can give you money because you don't have a way that they can give you money. Yeah. You need products and services. You need to solve problems, right? And podcasting allows you to do that. If y'all understand that, you don't need, you don't need a big, like a Vistaprint brand deal. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need your YouTube channel to be demonetized or the 1,000 subs and the 4,000 watch hours. And I think they reduced it to like 500 subs and like 2,000 watch hours or something like that. But you don't need, that's great to have, but you don't need that. You don't need a sponsorship. The worst thing I hate too is like, just start a podcast. We about to do our podcast merch. Nobody wants your merch. No, your podcast ain't even popping. Why would I want your merch? Yeah, nobody. It's not an experience yet. Mm-mm. I don't want XYZ podcast on my T-shirt. I'm not paying for that. So that's not a great way for you to monetize. That's a great way for you to monetize after you have a brand, because people are buying into brands. That's why like artists can sell merch faster because you're buying into an experience.
Yeah.
Right? So when Kanye dropped the Vultures merch and everything was $20, it didn't really matter what you bought because you're just like, I want to be part of this experience. You know? Same thing with like Taylor Swift. You go to Taylor Swift show, like you don't care what she got for sale, but this was a moment. And this t-shirt, these tickets, the wristband, whatever, the person you was with, you got the picture, all these moments make you like, yeah, I was here. I need something that is going to remind me of that moment. So it works in that regard. You can't do it with merch with a brand new show because nobody wants it. But it's a dope way for you to brand your show. Mm-hmm. So every time you got the clips, you got the hat on, you got the t-shirt on, you got your colors on. It's a great way to brand your show, but it's not a great way to monetize it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had somebody reach out for a potential sponsorship deal. And I got all excited. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm going to have some of my expenses covered.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like apprehensive about it because I'm like, damn, now I'm basically going to be like a prostitute for this person. Like I'm
a prostitute.
Right? Like they get to tell me what to do. They got to tell me, how many times I got to post. I got to like put on a show for these people.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I need the money. I could kind of use a sponsorship deal. And then they never got back to me. And I'm like, damn. But then I realized this is a blessing because I don't want to be like a puppet.
Yeah.
I want to have my own products and services.
Yeah.
So screw their $1,500 a month, right? I can make much more than that with my own products and services.
Yeah, of course,
way more.
100%.
So why am I going to sit here and pretend to be like a corporate puppet when I can develop my own stuff?
Yeah.
And that's what you're about. And that's actually something that by following you helped me realize that I don't need to be a sponsor.
Appreciate that.
Sponsor.
Yeah.
So people that are thinking out there like you need to have brand deals and sponsors like that. There's no money in that. That's chump change.
No, I gotta correct you.
Okay.
There is some money in that because they give them some bags. You know what I'm saying? Like Wallow and Gilly got 100. You know what I'm saying? McPhee got like 100. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many people out here getting bags. Joe Rogan got another 250.
Yeah.
So like the Nelk Boys getting money. So that money's there, but it's not the right now money. You know what I'm saying? And there's some things that's gonna come along with that, like network and some of the rights of like the ownership of the show. Some of that might be up for debate. So there's some big change there. But the thinking is, I need that because I got a podcast. That's how I'm gonna get the money.
Right.
So if you're gonna get a deal, why don't we start locally? I'll give you an example. Right? What are some banks that you go to? What are some credit unions you go to? Do you have a favorite restaurant? Does your wife have a favorite restaurant? Is there a pet shop that you go to in the neighborhood? Right? Is there a local movie theaters? What about the cafe that you go to? Right? Are there any pizza shops? Mm-hmm. How about car shops? How about insurance companies? Real estate people, right? The reason why I'm bringing these people up is because the majority of them don't market.
Yeah.
Right? But everyone has like this mix of people or businesses in their towns or their cities. Mm-hmm. So if you go to them and say, hey, listen, I have a podcast, right? I can get your products and services. Well, first of all, I can interview you, right? And I can put your products and services in front of people, right? And all you got to do is $1,000 a month. You're going to get 4 episodes, a little 30-second commercial, put it in there, and we're going to interview you. You could say, hey, this is going to be for the quarter. Maybe that's $1,000 for 4 shows. Maybe you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 4,000 for the year, right? That's 4 quarters. Boom, right? Or maybe you do a different person per quarter, or maybe you do 2 or 3 people per quarter. I'm just using that 1,000 as an example. But now your podcast, that's $12,000.
Yeah.
Right? And that's because, those are not even the foundation of 4. But what I want to share with you is, you don't have to think you need like Amazon. You know what I'm saying? The corporation, we could talk about another way you could leverage Amazon. But you don't need like a big corporation like Amazon to get a sponsor, right? But they are giving out sponsors. They are. But I don't want you to think you got to cast the net so wide when there's like opportunities right here. Yeah. The same places you frequent in your neighborhood, the places that you love, they're willing to give you some money because they only rely on word of mouth and referrals. They're not doing no marketing.
Yeah.
So you're going to give them opportunity to get in front of the audience that you're cultivating, right? And there's a lot of different ways that you can go about that package. So I would start locally. Like right now, we're in a small commercial lot. We're in a studio. The studio can go outside and get some sponsors. You can go outside and get some sponsors.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The studio could probably say, hey, listen, I'm going to charge you $10,000 for the year or $12,000 for the year. We do 4 or 5 different shows out of here. You know, and then I'm gonna make the deals with some of these podcasters, and then have you have a commercial inside those episodes for you, and then he could break some bread off with the podcasters.
Yep.
They're gonna say yeah, because they ain't getting no money anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. I would start locally when it comes to sponsors, because the more likely than not, they're gonna say yeah. Yeah.
So you know Chris Williamson?
I haven't met him yet.
Okay. But you know his podcast.
Yeah.
Got a huge podcast. Gets amazing guests. And he's been on the grind for several years. And I was watching a podcast with him recently. I think it was Alex Hormozy. And he said that one day he decided to turn pro. And what that meant to him was, if his activity, podcasting, was a professional sport, what actions would a professional athlete do in order to turn from amateur to pro?
Yeah, I like that.
And I started thinking about that. And he's like, I'm turning pro. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you can turn pro in whatever it is that you do.
100%.
So, what are some of the things that you have done to turn pro? And how do you be an amazing podcast host?
First thing I do to turn pro was quit my job. I feel like you got to go all in. Right? Like, Kobe had an insane work ethic because he went all in. And he surveyed the field and knew, okay, the average NBA player works out 1 to 2 times a day. I'm going to work out 4 times a day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if I work out 4 times a day in 5 years or whatever time frame is, there's no way that they can catch me. Mm-hmm. Right? So I decided to quit my job. I went all in on coaching, mentorship programs, you know, like tighten up my morning routine. And I just took it more and more serious. And then it took me listening to, so I was paying attention to, like, people around me who said, hey, listen, Brenda, there's something to this podcast thing I think you're missing. So you should look a little closely at it. Because at that time I was just doing interviews, but it wasn't part of my business, like, model. So then I kind of took some time. It took me about a month, and then it was just like a eureka moment, right? So when it comes to going pro, what I would do is start taking it seriously. So number one would be, does your podcast release consistently every week? Is there a certain day? Is there a certain time that it comes out, like a show? Mm-hmm. That's probably number one. The second thing I would do is, like, what is your, I call it the 4P plan. Like, what's your post-podcast promo plan? What's the things that you do once the podcast goes up? Most people just post it and then hope that people catch it, right? So what's going to be your strategy? Once the podcast goes up, these 4 to 8 to 10 things we do every single time so we can get it out to as many people as possible, right? So I would have a 4P plan, and I would have a cadence to the releasing, right? Study the crafts. Who are some podcasters that are going crazy right now? So Chris Williamson, let's use an example. Let's use Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay as an example. Okay, if we study what are some of the nuances that they're doing, what are they doing? Okay, cool, I'm going to take some here, I'm going to take some there. What did Kobe do? He studied Michael Jordan. He studied Magic Johnson. He studied Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying? He studied the greats, right? So I'm going to study some of the great shows. What are they doing? I'm taking this more seriously. Now I got to bring in money for my show, because if I'm going to have a bigger show, I need some money so the money can help me, you know, be a bigger show. So this is another thing that most podcasters do, and they drop the ball at. They don't recognize that the podcast is a media business. So since it's a media business, they need to set it up like a business. So, you know, you got to run the lap on that. Business address, is it a LLC or S Corp, C Corp, however you want to set it up? Is there a name for your show? You know, have you did research? You got a logo, all that type of stuff. You know, phone number, all of that. Business bank account. get access to some capital, so you can actually do stuff with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had the opportunity to bring in our Alex Hormozy and he was like, yo, it's going to cost me $5K, and you're like, oh, I can't pay that. But you know that would turn your show up, but you don't have the money for it because you're not set up properly. So I would set up the business as a media business so you can actually have, you know, the opportunity to move and shake properly, right?
Yeah.
So set it up as a business. Those are probably the first 3 things I would do. And then I would just look at long term. Like you said, you know, you're in the 1%. So I would commit to doing the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm going to do 100 episodes. I'm going to commit to that. And then I would also remove WMAs, MWAs, minimum wage activities. So if you host a show, you shouldn't edit it. That's a waste of your time, right? So you should hire as fast as possible someone can do the things that you don't really need to do, like posting the show, editing the show, you know, maybe reaching out to people, you know, when you're able to. All the things that need to happen, but you as the, you know, as the host or the owner, the founder, the leader, you got to be focused on things that move the needle forward. So that means you need to start using some software, some you know, maybe AI tools or something. You know, hire an editor or VA, and then allow yourself to focus on, you know, larger things. So those are some of the things that I would do, you know, when I decided to go pro. But if someone's watching right now, it's like, I really want to turn it up, I would 100% commit to those things. And then you have to outwork the next podcaster, you know. So for you, that might be interviews, that might be networking, that might be being in certain places, that might be being strategic, that might be having a show that's flexible. Like my show is flexible. I can take it anywhere, right? So you might have a studio where you do the majority of your shows, but maybe you're like, yo, I want to meet more people, so I'm going to be going to different events, you know. I'm going to have, you know, a version of my podcast that can be mobile, so I can do interviews maybe on the street, or I can do interviews at an event or something like that. So I think things like that will help contribute to that. You start actually running it like a business and not just like a show that you do sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of events.
Yeah.
You're going on tour.
Yeah. We're doing a little tour.
Man.
I actually got this is one of the shirts that we did. So it says
Man, keep your clothes on. Turn the cameras off. Turn the cameras off.
It says audience growth tour right here.
Hey.
So we're doing it. This is one of the draft
Audience
shirts.
growth tour.
Yeah. So
Love
we got another version of this that we're gonna be releasing. Well, this was like the first draft. But basically, what the audience growth tour is, it's a tour. It's a tour that's gonna allow us to like touch the people, right? So it's really a workshop, right, where we're gonna go to different cities, 12 cities. We're doing 2 cities a month, the last 6 months of the year, and we're gonna teach them different strategies that's gonna help them with marketing and exposure for their brand and their business. So it's not just going to be podcast exposure. It's going to be different ways that they can get in front of people.
Yes.
And then we're going to have a live podcast. So people that take the VIP package, they can attend the live networking session, but then actually live podcasting. And, you know, they can ask questions with, you know, whomever the secret guest is going to be.
Secret guest.
Yep. Different cities going to be a different guest. And then what I'm doing is with all my relationships in these different cities, I'm partnering with them. So give them the opportunity to come on stage and then bless the people with their gifts and their knowledge and stuff like that. So that's how that's working.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what's your first stop?
Miami.
Miami
start number 1. Yeah.
Okay. So what's got you interested in Miami?
Have
you been out there before recently?
Yeah. Last year, I probably went maybe like 6 times. It's just the energy, bro. Like, I came out to California for the energy, but I think COVID sucked the energy out of California. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of the people moved out. You know, a lot of businesses shut down. So, like, if you're just driving through L.A., it don't feel the same. And when I go to Atlanta, there's so much motion. When I go to Miami, there's so much motion that I just got being around the motion, because if you stay close to the fire, you're going to stay warm. Mm-hmm. But if you far away from the fire, even if it's burning, there's no way you could stay warm. You could just see it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to go where the emotion's at, where the energy's at.
Yeah.
I was there for between Atlanta, Puerto Rico, and Miami for like a month. We did 13 shows, and I jumped on 2.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Just because I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, now could I have done that in LA? Yeah, but the people that I interviewed, they're not here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the fact, like, using this tool, which is your podcasting, your business, your knowledge of how to grow audiences,
Yeah.
to leverage your lifestyle. Like, I'm sure when you go on tour, it's not going to be, it's part of the lifestyle you want to live. You want to go on tour. You want to visit these places.
Yeah, facts.
You want to go to Miami. You want to go to Atlanta. You want to go to all these different places. That's part of like your lifestyle that you want to build. And you've been able to, you dream that first, and then you figured out how the vehicle that you're currently driving in is going to be able to take you there. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like we need to start dreaming, bro. Like, do you know the levels of value?
No.
So the first level of value is implementation, meaning anyone that's actually doing the thing, they're allowed the lowest level of value to come to them, which means they normally get paid the least. The next level is unification. These are like your managers, right? These are people that are, producing. These are people that are overseeing, right? So they're getting paid a little bit more. They're not doing the same amount of like, putting things together, right? So that's the second level, right? Then the next level on top of that is communication. So we're on the third level of value, right? We're podcasters, we're artists, we're communicating, we're using our voice, right? And then the top level is ideation. So it's like you use your mind, you think things, you create things, think and grow rich, right? It didn't say do and be rich. It said think and grow rich. So I've been able to use my mind to create, my vision or cast my vision for what I want. And I feel like we're all made in God's image, but people tend to forget that. But it's not really their fault. We're being programmed. So when you forget who you are, if you look, okay, think about a baby when it's born in the purest form. Even though a baby doesn't have the full cognition, it's still the highest level of itself. Mm-hmm. And typically, people have to learn to do that again because they've done been programmed for 20 years, 30 years to not be creative, to not play with blocks, to not, play with the sand and ground and, observe an environment and, get lost and stuff. If an adult did that around you, you'd be thinking that adult's crazy.
Yeah. Right?
But a kid can do it, you're like, oh, that's cute. Or like, let him explore. Let her explore. We forgot to explore as we get older. And because you forget to explore, you forget to use your creative mind, your ideas, your dreams, your visions to cast whatever you want in real life. Because the things that happen in real life, like I'll give an example. This right now happened twice. It happened once in your mind and once in real life. You had to think of it for it to happen. You had to have the idea, right, for it to be it. But it already happened in your mind. Mm-hmm. Now it's happening in real life. So this is the second time that it's happening. So everything that people want has happened at least 2 times. Mm-hmm. Right? But we forget that.
Yeah. Most
people block the opportunity for something to happen because they're afraid. But you're only afraid because you've been programmed to be afraid. Because when you're a baby, listen, when I was a kid, I put my foot in a lawnmower, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's because I was curious. Now, I was curious to the detriment, you know what I'm saying? Because I ended up in the hospital, I had to get stitches. But that curiosity didn't prevent me from being in a space that could have brought some danger. But sometimes you gotta straddle that dangerous line so you can get a result. But people are too afraid to do any of that, which is why they don't get any of that. There's no risk, there's no reward.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to go back to your childlike being, the God version of you, or connect to that so you can cast out the things that you really want in your mind, or the things that you dream about, the ways you want to actually help your family. You can actually do that. So for me, it was podcasting, because real estate was like, bro, I can't see myself helping buyers buy, helping sellers sell in the same state for another 20, 30 years. I'm like, I need to move. I need to explore. I like people. I like talking. I like meeting people. So it was like, okay, cool. I need to be able to like make some money online, and I really like this. So how do we put this together? So that's kind of like what, that's how it came about.
I think the system that we are born into is almost like a factory production line.
It is.
Right?
It's not almost, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a path laid out already.
100%.
You do this, you go to this school,
yeah.
You get financial aid, you go to college, you're set up for a job, you work 20 years, you get retirement, then you can live, in an old folks home, and then you die, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a very clear path for you set up. and it takes some courage to jump off of that production line.
Yeah.
And once you're off of that production line, well, now you got to figure out, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
And that's where the creativity comes in. And it's hard to be creative because we have been told not to. It's like, we're being told to actively just follow the line that's been set up for us.
Yeah, it's stupid, bro. You go to school and they're like, yo, don't cheat on your test. They're already telling you cheating on your test is bad, which means they're telling you, they subconsciously program you that collaboration is bad. But if we were sitting here,
I'm gonna tell my teacher that next. I'm gonna go back and be like,
for real,
no, I'm not cheating. I'm just collaborating.
You're collaborating, bro. Because there's not a point in your life after school where you would do something big or do something at all by yourself.
Right.
You would talk to your best friend, talk to a coach, talk to a mentor, watch a YouTube video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all cheating technically if we listen to what school's saying.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in life that you would do after traditional school that will require you to not share anything and just do it yourself.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna be like, yo, what do you think about this, man? What's your opinion? Okay, cool. Let's do it together. Let's go this route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're programming you. They be like, don't look over here. Hey, he was cheating. So now you're a snitch. Now you're telling, right? So that's how it is.
Yeah.
And because it's like that, we don't even know what's happening. We have no idea what's happening. Mm-hmm. And that's allowing us to be behind. Like I was arguing with one of my uncles. We wasn't really arguing, but this ongoing like theme. He's trying to tell me that school's important. I'm like, bro, I'm not saying school's not, but school ain't make me a millionaire. School ain't making me 500,000. School ain't make me $250,000. Now, if I get a certain job, yeah, let's say dentist, lawyer, you know what I mean? I might need to go to school for that. It's a specific skill set. But the average person who graduates doesn't even use their diploma, who doesn't know about budgeting, who doesn't know about credit, who doesn't know about taxes. You're not getting that in a traditional school. He kept trying to tell me, well, Wharton and Harvard has these classes. The average person is not going to Wharton or Harvard. They don't even know they exist. Nope. Harvard maybe because they got the brand. Wharton definitely not. Right? So if I'm not going to these institutions, or these institutions don't even have the capacity to take everybody, you're not learning the building blocks, the foundation of what is going to make you be successful and help your family.
Right. Yep.
Right? The majority of Americans don't know financial literacy or taxes, credit, and I didn't know that until I was old enough to be exposed to it. It's always been there, right? So I've started all my businesses up until a few years ago without the building blocks of what you really need to start a business. No one's successful people don't start businesses without it being properly set up and then just going and selling stuff. They're gonna go get the money.
Yep.
First.
Yeah.
Right? They're not gonna be like, okay, this is a hobby. I'm gonna do this for a little bit, see if it works. If it works, I'll go get a business account.
Yeah.
And then it stops there for most people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's like that's what it's about, bro. It's the programming. Mm-hmm. We gotta you gotta go against what you think, because typically what we think ain't it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It really ain't it.
What's driving you? Where does the motivation come from?
Being broke. I want to be broke. And I think coming from my family, we weren't broke, but no one was a millionaire. No one had the skills that I've learned to teach me, And then I think about my future family, what I want to provide them and experiences that I want to have, and how I don't want to have to look at prices or anything, just kind of live my life.
Yeah.
I think that inspires me. And then the opportunity to help people with the knowledge that I have and the way I can help them, things like that. Yeah, mm-hmm. that inspires me.
Yeah. Well, what about being poor scares you? Why are you running from that?
Well, this is the thing. It's very expensive to be poor. Very expensive to be poor, right? Every year, inflation goes higher. The money that you think is valuable today is not going to be the same value tomorrow or next year. So that means even going to get a bag of chips is probably going to be 2x, 3x next year. You can't be poor because it's cost you too much. You know what I'm saying? You can't be poor.
Yeah.
And I think once I realized that, like, it's all, like Andrew Tate and, like Justin Waller, they be talking about, and, just like The Matrix or whatever. Money's not real. So we have a hard time making money, but the money's fake. So if we figured out, like, okay, I'm going to take these chances for these fake dollars, because you're exchanging for things that are real, like assets that can produce more fake dollars, but those more fake dollars can level you up so you can operate life a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you look at it like that, it can probably help you to maybe go at it a little differently. It's like, why am I struggling? Why am I afraid to start a business to make money that's not even real? Like, if we play Monopoly, we be taking all them chances. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you're like, oh, that don't matter. This money's fake. This game ain't a real game. Life's the same way. Yeah. Like me and you doing a handshake right now, right? This is a real moment, right? What did it take us to be here? Like, we had to spend fake money. Studio, I had to spend fake money to get in the car to get here. But now we have a real moment. And now you're creating a real moment. It's going to last forever. It's going to be on, YouTube and all the podcast platforms. So you're just exchanging fake things for real things. So let's figure out how we can make more fake money come to us so we can have more real experiences for you and your family or whatever you want to do. Yeah. So, yeah, being poor has always been a motivator for me because, like I said, I wasn't like poor. Like, we was probably like middle class or whatever the case may be growing up. But, like, you still had to look at tags. We ain't go on trips every year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was like, well, we can do this, but we can't do that. Like, you had to make decisions. And the world's just getting way more expensive, bro. California, bro, they be taxing you on everything. And they don't, all the money that they get from taxes, they don't do nothing with the money in the state. The streets is all messed up. Homelessness is crazy. They got all these eyesores. California, where's the money going?
Don't know.
Don't know. Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah. So, man, it's been freaking flying. We got a few minutes left.
Damn, we didn't even talk about no podcast stuff.
Let's get into a couple of things real quick. So, what are some? I'm gonna leave it up to you. What are some things you want to talk about podcasting? Monetization, how to grow your audience. What are some key points we can talk about?
So let me at least give it a foundation of 4. Okay. These foundation of 4 are methods that will help you monetize your show immediately. And I feel like every podcaster needs to instill these. Even if you use one, you can monetize. But if you use all 4, you will 100% be, a 6-figure podcast, right? Number 1 is going to be community. Now, I always like to use this example. If you just flew back from a trip to Brazil, yeah. Right? Was there first class on that flight?
There was.
Was it first class full?
It was full.
All right. Now, was it economy on that flight?
Yeah.
Was economy full?
Also.
Okay, cool. Now, were people willing to pay 5x more to sit in first class?
Yeah.
Right? So what does that mean? That means there's a percentage of people that watch and listen to your podcast that would be willing, right, to join your community and get access to, what did they get access to in first class? Maybe pillow, blanket, different menu, or drink. They might meet the captain. They get on the plane first. They lead the plane first. They get a different experience, right? Headphones, eye mask, whatever, right? They just get and it's only 2 seats, not 3, right? People are willing to pay more for an experience. So what does a community built around the A-List podcast look like, right? 5 to 10% of your audience will probably 100% want to be, in that community, get access to whatever exclusives or limited things you're going to do or have for that community. Now that can be recurring revenue. You charge them $49 a month, $69 a month, $79 a month, $99 a month, right? And 10 people at $99 is $1,000 a month. Not a podcast is a 5-figure podcast with just 10 people. Not 100 views, not 1,000 views, 10 people, right? So community is one of the foundational 4. Second thing is digital products. What is your specialty? What is the thing that you do good at? Maybe you have a business outside of podcasting. Maybe you don't have a business outside of podcasting, but maybe the assets for your show you can digitize. Meaning, if you've had what, 20, would you say 25 or 21?
This is my 21st episode.
Okay, so you had 21 people on the show. So you could create let's say a digital product that says maybe the top 50 things I learned from the first, for the first A-list 20 people, from the A-list show with my first 20 guests, something like that. It'll be a better title. But you can basically wrap up each guest principles, strategies, lessons, gems into 3, 4, 5 things, put them each on a page with that guest picture, maybe a picture of you and that guest from the podcast, and then turn that into a digital product, sell that for $47. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? 22 sales is $1,000.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it could either be your show, or it could be what you're doing outside of your show if you actually have, a job or entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. So the second foundational 4 would be digital products, right? The third foundational 4 would be affiliate marketing. So there's so many different affiliate marketplaces, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So guess what? Most of the products and services, like all these cameras and these lights and stuff, like we can represent these products either if you go direct to Amazon or if you go directly to these sites, right? They all have some type of, affiliate link, or, they'll give a commission or something, right? And all you have to do is just get the custom link, right? You can go to even marketplaces. I would consider like Amazon or Marketplace or Impact or JV Zoo, places like that. Register. Now you got access to all these products and services that are already done. You don't even got to ship them. You don't got to ship them. You don't got to fulfill. You don't got to handle no customer service. All they got to do is purchase through your link. And you can leverage your podcast by either just putting a link in the description or creating commercials for them, right? And then between your intro, your mid-roll, or your end roll, they can run into these products and services, or you can do a live reading and say, hey, listen, if you want to use a camera that we use to, record a podcast, if you want to drink out of the cup, the official cup of the A-List podcast, click the link below and grab it. You're going to get a percentage of every single sale. And there's also affiliates that do recurring models, meaning like, let's say like a CRM software or like a payroll or something like that, where, if people sign up through you, they'll pay you a certain amount of money every single month, as long as that client keeps that account. That's free money.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the third foundational 4. And then the fourth foundational 4 is what I like to call the VIP package. So I feel like a lot of podcasters drop the ball on this, where guests come on the show. A lot of guests do not rewatch their podcasts, and they want content. So what I would do is I would just package up your assets as a VIP package, right? You can try this too. So you got 2 more shows after mine. Just give the offer. Say, hey, listen, what do you do? Oh, you're in this space. Okay, cool. So we got a VIP option, VIP package. Are you interested in it? All of them are going to say yeah, because they're going to be like, what's the VIP package? Right, so you can be like, hey, listen, we're going to record. So we're in the studio already. So we're going to record a 30-second commercial for you. We're going to put it in the podcast. We're going to give you access to 8 to 10 clips that are all, edited, and, they got the logos, branded however you want. You're going to get access to our email list. If you have an email list, we'll do an email blast out for you products and services. We'll do a text message blast out. Something like that. If you go live, invite them on another day to go live, so you can kind of do another interview, but it gives them another look. Charge $500 for that. So if you're doing 4 shows a month, right, and 25% of people take it, you just made an extra $500, and you did the same thing you was gonna do anyway.
Yeah.
Now, if you're aggressive and even though if you might release 4, but you shoot 10 shows a month, and 25% take it, guess what?
Yeah.
Right? That's $1,000 plus minus dollars for you doing it. You was gonna record anyway.
Yep.
Right? So if you add in, that's the 4th foundational 4. So if you add in VIP package, digital products, community, and affiliates, y'all are making money. And these are only 4 things. There's so many other ways I can help y'all make money. But this is what you use. The foundational 4. And then you leverage your show as an asset, right? To monetize, to build the relationships, to get in front of people, right? And then give yourself more opportunities to have those offers.
Yeah.
And then you run those offers concurrently. And we talked about the sponsorships from the local. That's not been a foundational 4. So now you got 5 ways.
Yep.
Right? I can go on and on. What y'all need to understand is it's not hard to be a 6-figure podcast, but you need to go pro.
Yes.
You need to take it seriously. You got to start waiting for YouTube subs. You can have all the YouTube subs, and you can have all the views, and if your account doesn't make at least $100, YouTube ain't giving you that money. I showed you how to make 6 figures with your podcast. You're still trying to get $150 from YouTube so they can send you to 150. When all you needed to do was sell 3 digital products.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't even talk about having offers. If you got your own offers, that wasn't a foundation for. So now that's 6 ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can go on and on and on. But this is how y'all really can monetize your show if you use a foundational 4, get a structure for that, and then you start adding on some of these other things that we talked about.
Yeah. All right, hit us with one more gem, and then we'll have to close after that. But what else? What else about podcasting do you like to go into?
What I like to just share with you guys is the number one thing that's stopping you from making more money, from getting more people to know who you are, is actually going on podcasts, right?
Yeah.
So you need to get more exposure, and you need to go in front of more people. So a very easy way for you to do that is getting on multiple podcasts.
Yeah.
You should use a strategy that I like to call the 52W. So let me ask you, how many weeks in a year typically?
52.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you feel like you have at least 30 minutes a week that you could talk about what you do, how you help people, your products and services in your business?
Absolutely.
Is it worth it to you to talk intentionally about your business every single week for at least 30 minutes?
Absolutely.
And that's valuable to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do that every single week, 30 minutes for 52 weeks, once a week, that's 52 different platforms that you can get in front of that can learn who you are, what you do, how you help people, learn your story, right? And then can get an offer to your products and services. And it only took you 30 minutes a week. So let me ask you this. Is it worth it to you to spend 60 to 90 minutes a week doing the same thing?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so if you multiply that by 2, how many platforms is that? It's 104 different platforms. All you did was spend 60 to 90 minutes a week. And most of us spend 60 to 90 minutes on the phone with people that we don't even like that much. You know what I'm saying? And more people aren't knowing who we are. When you can spend 60 to 90 minutes intentionally, this is how we go pro.
Yes.
Right? So more people can know who we are. And that's 104 different platforms that get to discover you. Guess what happens when they Google you? Your digital footprint increases, your searchability increases, your findability increases, your edification increases. And if you're doing a guest-based show and you're mixing in going on podcasts, it's a wrap.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
But most people won't do it.
I love that.
Yeah. But I know y'all will, because this is the A-list show. Only A-listers watch this show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yo, Brendan, this has been an amazing podcast. So much energy. I hope people go back and watch this 2 or 3 times. And Brendan, should people subscribe to this channel? Do you think they should maybe subscribe?
Listen, if you're an A-list person, if you aspire to be an A-list person, if you already consider yourself being an A-list person, you don't have no other choice but to subscribe. Because if you don't subscribe, you ain't A-list.
That's right.
So I would do that right now. And A-list people always share value. So I would share this podcast out with 3 or 5 people because, you know, we think in abundance.
Yes.
So we want more people to know what's going on. We want to share the gems so we can help and inspire other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brendan Boyd, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Subscribe, and we'll catch you with the next amazing.
Wait, hold on. I gotta give him something. I gotta give him something.
All right. Back up.
Listen, if you made it this far in the podcast, not only are you A-list, you're a 1% person.
Yes.
So what I want to do is I want to give you something. I'm doing an audience growth challenge completely available to you by going to audiencegrowthchallenge.com, or you can text 213-410-4920. Text the word growth, 213-410-4920. You'll get a link to come to the challenge. We're going to help you with your marketing plan, where over 50% of business owners do not have a marketing plan, who are going out into the world hoping that people discover who they are, what their business is, and how they can help people. And that's not how you're going to grow your business. So we're going to break down different marketing strategies, exposure strategies for 5 days, online virtual, over 10 hours of straight game. And I'm going to bring some of my friends over to bless you guys as well. So just text guest to 213-410-4920, and I'll see you in the challenge.
Audience Growth Challenge. Brendan Boyd, thank you very much. We will catch you on the next one.